Well, hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This is a channel where I like to talk about books. At least that's what it's been up to this point. If you scroll through, there's a number of reviews of books, what I'm calling book bites, where I try to kind of summarize, or not summarize, pull out highlights of books I've read, and hopefully whet your appetite to get a hold of those and read those. I love books. I love recommending books. And in this video, I just want to do something a little different that I haven't done yet, obviously, because this is very new. But I wanted to do a bit of a book haul video. I have 5 books here, I think. 6 books here that I got a while back. And I thought it'd be fun just to do a little book haul video of stuff I've got, stuff I've skimmed through, stuff I'm really interested in. So I hope this is fun, and like and subscribe and check out some other videos here if that's something that you're interested in. First of all, I got to give a shout out to a store called Reformed Book Services in Brantford, Ontario. They are not a sponsor of this. It's just my favorite store in Brantford. I live in Brantford. I'm about 7 minutes down the road from Reformed Book Services. And they're just a wonderful store. They carry books from really all the major Christian publishers, evangelical publishers, so Crossway, Banner of Truth, Reformation Heritage Books, amongst others. They have some from Lexham Press, and many others. But just a wealth of resources there. If you're in Southern Ontario, definitely come check them out. It's even worth the trip to Brantford just to check out Reformed Book Services. If you're in Canada, they have a great online store. So they're able to take online orders and ship. So just a plug there. Again, they're not a sponsor, but they're a great resource if you're interested in reading. If you want to learn more about Christianity, they carry everything from Bibles to Bible study material to Christian living, deep theology, counseling, devotionals, church history, children's books, biography, everything. So wonderful store. Check them out. I say all that and because this stack I got there. It's maybe 2 months ago. I went there and they were doing they had a section that was a bit of a sale. Just $5 and $10 books that they were trying to clear out. And that's what I went for. So 6 books here, and just looked at them very briefly. I've read one of them cover to cover. I've read the backs and skimmed through most of them, but this is just maybe to whet my appetite to read these and maybe get something that maybe you can find something that you're interested in as well. The first one here, the smallest one, is called God's Discipline by Tim Chester. Basically, what he wants to do in this book is work through Hebrews 12, I believe, and look at the passage where God says, I discipline those, or that he disciplines those that he loves. And to argue that God's discipline can be an encouragement for our souls to shape us more and more into Jesus. So really book about sanctification. God's disciplining us so that we can become more like him. God's Discipline by Tim Chester. The second one is one by Jonathan Dodson. It's called The Unwavering Pastor. Much needed in our time of division and polarization. And that's kind of what it's geared towards. The opening illustration is obviously COVID. The biggest dividing issue in churches in recent memory. What he does is goes to the Bible and talks about how pastors can be unwavering in their conviction to the gospel, to God. to a sure faith in Jesus Christ, and then how that plays into dealing with these various issues. So he's unwavering in his conviction to the gospel, and Dodson tries to, I believe, tries to unpack that and what does this look like practically in pastoral life. So the unwavering pastor. The next one, and another that's in this Christian living, say sanctification category, is the wholeness imperative by Scott Redd. Scott Redd's a Reformed Theological Seminary guy, I believe one of the president of the Washington D.C. Campus of Reformed Theological Seminary. And this is wrestling with, the promise that we'll one day be whole, but we don't find ourselves there. We find ourselves as broken, divided, internally conflicted people, longing for wholeness, chasing that, not having that. And he unpacks that desire, that where we are right now, and what we will be. What we are in Christ right now, first of all, but then what we will be also. So the wholeness imperative by Scott Redd, another sanctification, growing in grace, growing in Christ themed book. This one really caught my eye. Scrolling Ourselves to Death. This one's published by Crossway in conjunction with the Gospel Coalition. If you're familiar with the history of books on technology, it's very much taking its title from Neil Postman's 1985 classic, Amusing Ourselves to Death, but applying it to the way technology is developed, to smartphones, to social media, to algorithmic, I think that's a word, platforms that keep us doom scrolling is the word that gets used. So this is an edited collection. It's got contributions by Joe Carter, Samuel D. James, who wrote another book, Colin Hanson, amongst others, and just taking various topics related to technology, where it is today, and how do we understand this from a Christian perspective? What are things we need to be aware of, cautions we need to take? So a very applicable book, just published this year, 2025 is the publication date. So Scrolling Ourselves to Death, edited by Brett McCracken and Ivan Messa, both of the Gospel Coalition. Important book, I can imagine. The next book is called New Orthodoxy by Bruce Clemenger. Bruce Clemenger has been the CEO and president of the Evangelical Fellowship of Canada, which I think is evangelical think tank in Canada, or very involved in political education for Christians, kind of an advisory, takes an advisory or even advocate role for Christians in terms of what's going on in Canada politically. And this book's just looking at where things are in terms of religious freedom, where things have gone wrong or maybe going off the rails in terms of that in Canada. So it caught my eye just as a book talking about Christian political engagement in Canada. I tend to listen to a lot of stuff from the States. Al Mohler's podcast, The Briefing, I listened to a fair bit. But I'd been looking for something that was more geared towards the Canadian context in which I find myself, and this seemed to do it. So we'll see. We'll see if it does. It's some articles or essays that he previously wrote that are put together in a book. It's The New Orthodoxy by Bruce Clemenger. There you go. New Orthodoxy, Bruce Clemenger. Last but not least, in one sense, because this is the thickest book that I got, J-Curve by Paul E. Miller. It's another book on sanctification. I didn't intentionally make that a theme of the books that I got, but God in His providence knew I needed it. So the J Curve, the subtitle is Dying and Rising with Jesus in Everyday Life. This one I have read cover to cover. I hope to do a book bite on it soon. But just a very helpful book, taking that biblical metaphor of dying with Christ, that we are joined to Jesus in His death, and what that looks like lived out, and then rising with Him in Jesus' resurrection, and how that plays out for us. I'm not going to say much because I want to do a book bite on it, but just really a practical, really engages in terms of thinking about how am I applying this theology to my life. And Paul Miller is full of stories to illustrate what he's saying. It looks thick. It takes a little bit to get through, but he does a great job of bringing theology down to a very, very, very digestible level, very applicable level, and that's what theology needs to be. Anyway, that's it. Those are the 6 books I got about 2 months ago at Reformed Book Services, my last book haul. Stay tuned for more videos, book bites, and I have some other fun ideas that I hope to share and put out soon in the next little while. So thanks for watching. Again, you can like and subscribe, explore the other videos that I've put up. And if this is something you're interested in, I hope it can be a blessing and be a joy for you as well. So take care. I will see you next time.